Got the sprayer loaded up and we're heading out to the first field. I get to run the new machine today. Well, I guess new, but it's a 2018. The one that I normally run is a 4940, which is like a 12 maybe. So it's not that old, but this one is definitely a lot nicer. The only bad thing is all this here in the corner is absolutely foreign to me. So trying to get any simple task, just as switching auto steer lines, switching fields, creating a different tank mix, that takes me a while. But anyway, we're cooking 35 mile an hour on our way to the first field, and hopefully we can knock out about 1,000 acres yet today, even though we're only getting started at noon. So being that we're in wheat harvest, all of our auto steers, or most of them, are on the combines. We only have 5, but we're currently running about 8 pieces of equipment right now. So we kind of have to steal some off of one piece, put it on another piece. So this is the 8R4045. It's hooked up to the cultivator. We do not need this right now, so I'm gonna steal the monitor or steal the receiver off of it and get going on mine. Whoever designed the new step on those 8Rs to be that big is a genius. Finally having enough room to get up there to take that off without having to step on the fender or the hood, it's a genius. So what the 8R is currently doing is row crop cultivating. So what that allows us to do is run between the rows of milo and undercut all the weeds to get a lot of the hard to kill weeds such as pigweeds and a lot of the sandburrs that won't be affected by the chemical in that tank, because milo is not Roundup ready. So everything I spray out of the sprayer, it can't kill the grass. Otherwise we'll kill the milo. So that's the best case scenario, is to use a field crop cultivator. So we also have to get our nozzles checked. What's nice is we have this spray test by the boom test system. It wires right into the sprayer and it allows you to control each section of your boom with the remote. So if I click section number 1, section number 1 comes on. I'm in the wrong direction of the wind. So basically you just press the buttons, walk along the boom, make sure each one of your nozzles is working. With the weed it system on the sprayer, sometimes those diaphragms get stuck. So you just have to make sure that each diaphragm is opening and then you don't have any blank nozzles. Otherwise you're gonna have strips in your field with weeds that did not end up dying. Might be the first time in history that I did not have a single plug nozzle. It's gonna be a good day. Got my first pass along the pivot done, so now I need to go get it walking. That way it does not get in our way whenever we switch to the other half of the pivot. Perfect. And hopefully by the time that pivot walks to about right here, we'll be finished with this half, swing over and work from that way coming here. And then on the last pass, I'll shut it off on my way out. I've got all my end rows done around the field. What's nice about this sprayer is if you see that little green logo, it's got row sense. So there's a camera mounted right there that finds the row. It looks like that. So as you see, it's tracking both the rows with the blue line in the middle. And then that will actually keep you on your rows. Even if they have a little squiggle in them, it'll track right around it and keep going. It also helps with like a guest row and a planter. If you're not perfectly true on your guest row, this sprayer flips around on 120 feet, then you hit your row sense, and if you're off by a couple inches, it'll steer over and find its row, and then it'll keep going in the correct direction and not run over the row just because the guest row is off. First quarter is done for the day. I really failed at filming that one, but driving a pivot is tough because you're always turning, and my guidance lines really didn't line up, so I was driving it anyways. So, stop that, master off. Let's fold up, and let's head to the next half section. As you can see, it is a little wet out here, but this is one of the few fields that we have to travel through some ranch ground just to get to it. You can see it on the horizon. It's about a mile drive cross country. There's some really pretty fields out here. They're just kind of all landlocked by pastures. I wonder if John Deere knew that they built a boot scraper here on the edge of your walkway. That little piece of metal that keeps your foot from kicking off. Perfect for swiping your boots off. Haven't checked in a while. My auto steer hasn't been working, so I've been having to drive, you know, like the pioneers, not have to use the old auto steer, hit the button and not pay attention. But We're going in some pretty decent milo right now. There's some washouts that run across, so you really got to pay attention with the volunteer corn and the milo. You can't really see them until you're already there. There's one right there. That's a major one. Luckily, I've already sprayed 2 end rows around here so we can creep through it and not have to just trash the sprayer to keep our rate up, and hopefully don't lose a boom in the process. And off to the races again. Well, the row sense is not liking this. The volunteer corn that's in the row, it really throws off the camera, and it really does not like it at all. So it kind of activates and deactivates as it pleases, but it doesn't really do a great job. So far on the day, I started off with a 120 acre pivot, went to a quarter. Now I'm working on a 480 acre field. It's kind of rough, so I have to slow down a little bit, but hopefully if everything goes according to plan, I could get this one done tonight, which would be a great day. Not my best day, but I didn't start till noon, so beggars can't be choosers. Just pull the sprayer back up at the shop, finish that 480 acres. Now I'm sitting getting ready to fill for the morning. It's currently dark out and I'm not going to spray another load, so I will see you all when the sun comes up. You have arrived at your destination. One really nice thing that I like about this newer sprayer is on the back of the hydro handle, they do have some programmable buttons. So I have it switched to where I can toggle through all of my guidance lines and then center up whenever I get it, and then be able to shift back and forth in the process. So I'll go ahead and switch around until I find my circle track on this pivot. There we go. Now that I'm sitting exactly where I want to be, I'll go ahead and hit my top key, which centers up my line. Go ahead and go forward and hit the auto steer once, turn the boom on, and now we're driving in a circle. One really nice part about the circle track is we ensure that our pivot stays perfectly round. Since we don't farm our pivot corners because this is exceptionally sandy, dry land, it makes sure that we don't encroach outside of the pivot to bring on dry land acres that are just going to blow and not really grow a good crop. So this specific tank mix, if you can see down there, this is sorghum Sudan grass. So it treats the same as milo, but there's a lot of pigweeds mixed in with that. And those pigweeds are a problem on this field. It has been an issue ever since we took this ground over. We haven't really found a great solution for it, but we are well on the way to being able to completely control this field using a lot of like sorghum Sudan grass, milo, doing a fallow rotation so we can sweep the field, then back to wheat and grow a lot of grassy crops so we can control the broadleaf plant such as the pigweed. So now what I do is I get my guidance line set up and I pick the pass closest to the pivot tower. Whenever I get there, I'll start it moving, work my way that way, flip around, go to the end and work back, and as I work my way back, whenever I get to the tower, it's far enough that I can shut it off. Oop. That's better. And we are off to the races again. And that is the last pass of the pivot, and we'll get folded up and headed back to the farm. So now I'm thinking we'll go ahead and move back to the shop and then start with our burn down work on all the wheat stubble ground that's been harvested so far. There's not a lot, but we did get a decent start last week on harvest. Probably 400 or 500 acres at least, so that'll be a day's worth of work, and then we'll be done spraying for a while. maybe get started on some more ally and amine out west, but for now, that's pretty much all the spraying that's got to be done. All right, well, I failed you all once again. I was using the See and Spray sprayer on the last field that I sprayed. I've never used it before, so it was my first time, and it was on terraces. So I didn't really want to videotape that because it could have got ugly. It did not, but anyway, these are our See and Spray cameras. It's a weed it system. Every time it sees green, it triggers on this set of nozzles on the front. So now that we're done See and Spraying, because this field needs sprayed all complete, I have to go and twist the caps back onto the real nozzles and open up this back set. That way we could blanket apply the whole field. I apologize, that would have been really cool, but I was enjoying myself and did not pick up the camera. So next time. Got my tank mix all switched to wheat stubble. Now all I have to do is just prime the boom and get going. The tank is now empty and I'm on my way back to the farm. I got the phone call that said the wheat went 13 moisture, which is dry enough to get going again. So I will now park the sprayer, drive 45 minutes down to the combine, get loaded up, and see if we can get some wheat cut yet today. So meaning that we're gonna completely switch gears on this whole parade. I think I'll end the video here and we'll start another one when I get to the combine. So thank you for watching, see you in the next one.